From the home of Falcon football, CBS 7 presents Falcon Focus with Jake Gayden and Marshall Kramsky.
Good evening, Falcons, and welcome to another week of Falcon Focus. I'm Jake Gayden.
And I'm Tatum Gwen. Tonight, the women's head basketball coach, Ray Booth. She's in studio. We're talking hoops.
Yeah, before we do that, though, let's get caught up in case you missed this week's home game against Western New Mexico. Rock with the highlight, can we? UTB hosting their first home game of the year and be up 2 at halftime, but the second half wasn't good to them. In the fourth quarter, the Lady Mustangs, Paulina Rodriguez from 3 to end the Western New Mexico lead to 9. Then Rodriguez in the same spot, and usually that means it's the same result. Gives Western a 12-point lead at this point. The Lady Mustangs started going side suit after. Tatiana McFarland gets her own rebound, back up with it, foul. That's a good old-fashioned three-point play. Then Rodriguez cutting wide open layup. She finishes with 13 points. UTB would score twice in the fourth quarter. This is one of them right here. Julia Akamwal, nice two right there off the backboard. Let's look at the final score in this one. UTB, though, ends up losing in a final of 61-41.
So, Coach Booth, let's break down that game by starting at the beginning. You guys came out strong. What were some of the keys to that fast start?
Really coming out hard and aggressive from the very beginning. You know, going into the game, we knew we haven't put 4 quarters together, so that was a goal for us going into our second conference game, and we wanted to start off the right way, and I think we did that in the first quarter at least.
Did you enjoy playing at home? I know first home game of the year. It's got to be nice not traveling.
Absolutely,
right?
Enjoyed the whole process. You know, sleeping at home, our girls sleeping at home, having shoot around at home, pregame meal at home, and seeing a great crowd come out was great.
Go for it.
So at the half, y'all were leading by 2. Did you notice anything coming out of the locker room? Maybe fatigue? Can you pinpoint one thing?
Honestly, the last 3 minutes of the second quarter, we took a turn. We were very unhappy with the way we went into the locker room. Our goal was really to go up with a significant lead, the way we played in the first quarter. And we saw a drop-off in the second quarter, so we were really going to focus on areas that we could capitalize on. And we discussed it, and I believe those areas we were poor in the second half.
Let me ask you this, Coach. You told us before that you want an aggressive team, lots of steals, bunch of rebounds, and you said this offseason, hey, we're going to go after some taller girls, be able to work on that. Yet you're out rebounding that first conference game last night. What happened there with that? What do you think?
We have some work to do, I'd say, with being consistent.
Simple as that. Okay.
Yeah. So in the first quarter, I thought we did pretty well. Alex Washington had a nice putback early. You know, we scored 4 points quick off second chance, and then in the second half, we didn't really do that at all. And so I do believe it's just maybe ability to stay locked in and be hungry throughout 4 quarters, specifically when things don't go well for us. You know, we need to get a little tougher, I would say, through adverse situations. A lot of our mistakes on the defensive end resulted in fouls, and then frustration just grew. So I'd say we have a long way to go in terms of just focus and ability to move on to the next play.
Let me ask you this, though, Coach. In that timeout in the second half, you did say, hey, girls, we got to hit the glass, all right? Were they hearing you, or is it just kind of like, hey, we're not in the moment, we're not making this thing done? Or, like, what can you pinpoint anything in the second half for that?
I believe I definitely think they're hearing and they're agreeing, but I do think that we get caught up in our own frustration.
Okay.
And that's something we need to be more selfless at as a group.
So what does that look like in practice? How do you try to drive that point home during the week?
Well, practice, you play like you practice.
Right.
And honestly, we're frustrated in practice as well. And that's just an area that we really need to focus on getting better, becoming more mature, becoming more selfless. And most frustration for our team has to do with our own really disappointments of ourselves, not frustration towards others. So it's coming from a good place. We just need to do a better job of moving on.
So one area that could certainly use some improvement would be making shots. You're about 30% from the field. So from a coaching perspective, how do you work to get your girls more consistent in that area?
Well, consistency is key, honestly. In the first half, we were 48% from the field. In the second half, we were under 20 against the same defense. And so I think when things didn't go well, now every shot has to go in.
Right.
And then you become a little tight, and you're just not playing.
Just getting in your head.
Exactly. And the frustration grows and festers. So I think we just need to be able to stay locked in, move on to the next play, and have a lot of confidence in what we're doing.
Well, what's one good thing that y'all can take away from
exactly.
this game?
I was about to ask that.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it was a tough game, hard to walk away from. But what's something good that your girls did?
The first quarter. The first quarter was good. If we could do that and improve upon that, we could have a really great season. But only doing that for one quarter, we need to build on that. And I think the break for us is going to be huge. You know, we have one more game, Arlington Baptist on Friday, and then we get to just do basketball for 4 days before we take a week away from each other. Then we can come back and make sure we're focused on really trying to be consistent.
All right, thanks, Coach Booth. All right, this year's team has 12 new players. We'll introduce you to one of those players who's already making a big impact.
That's coming up next. You're watching Falcon Focus on CBS 7.
We're back with more Falcon Focus with Jake Gaden and Marshall Kramsky.
Welcome back. All new beginnings come from an ending, and a beginning is just the start of an ending. Are you confused yet? Don't be.
Okay, but that's why we're going to get to know Sara Bursting, and she'll make it all make sense.
Drill after drill, Sara Bursting runs the court.
I know my role on the court, that is to take leadership and help my teammates.
Bursting fits that role perfectly. It is her senior season. What you may not know, it's also her first at UT Permian Basin.
She tried 3 times, and I finally was, ready to make the move.
Bursting spent the last 3 years playing for other universities around the country. She says Coach Booth's vision is what sold her to move to West Texas for her final season.
She was so focused on winning and her winner mentality. That's really what caught my attention. It's been a great journey. I'm sad it's my last, but it's been a great time with the team.
Her time as a Falcon will end just as it is beginning. That's why she's making the most of every single game.
Falcons on 3, 1, 2, 3, Falcons!
Value every single game, not just because I'm a senior, but you'll never know what's going to happen in the next practice.
She's working for a storybook season, one that does not end until March.
Go hard and leave it all on the court.
All right, Coach, let's talk about Sara for a second. Rumor has it you had to convince her 3 times to join the team. Tell me your side of the story on this.
It was true. Yeah, persistence paid off.
I love it.
She's here.
So explain to me, what took that? What was the overreaching point that, okay, we finally got her to sign and come to UTPB?
I think it's just experience and figuring out what you want with your career.
Okay.
And she started at JUCO, she went to Division I, and just was missing something. And so when she reached out, I was happy to answer and do it again.
What was it about her that kept you going, I think you need to come play with me? Come on.
Well, she's a competitor, and you guys can see that in every game, in every call, in every shot, when things go well, when things don't. And so just her overall competitiveness and athleticism and strength and heart, all the intangibles Sara has.
Well, what's really unique about her story is she's coming to a brand new team her senior year. How is she able to find her place on a team that, one, she's brand new to, but it's also her senior season. She's got experience.
Right. Well, I think that made it unique for her to be able to transfer as a senior, be new, and understand she is a leader. And so a lot of times new people take a back seat to who was there before. And Sara didn't have that luxury, and I'm glad she's here to help us.
Well, it seems like she's really stepped up
Absolutely.
to the plate.
She has. And the first month, 2 months, she really had to learn kind of the system and the process, and me as a coach and coach-point guard relationship for us is huge. We must be on the same page, and we're still working on that day to day, exactly what we need from each other.
Sure.
But it's been a lot of fun to go through it with her.
If there's one thing you want those younger players in your team to see in Sara and kind of emulate, what would that be?
The competitor.
Okay.
She wants to win everything. You know, we joke a lot about, you know, wanting to win. We went to the Boys and Girls Club last week.
Really? Okay.
For a day, just to do some community service, spend time with them. And our players love the youth at the Boys and Girls Club. And we played dodgeball. And you could just see it. You know, we want to win at dodgeball. And
She wants to win
I
at
wanna win at
Dodgeball, exactly.
You need to see this video of Coach Booth. Oh my gosh. I don't want to be on the other side of that ball.
And Sarah's the same way, you know, just natural competitors. But I also think she has great energy and work ethic, and I think those go hand in hand with being passionate about the game you love.
I love it. All right. Well, let's hopefully see some more good things from Sara throughout the year. Up next, we introduce you to Coach Booth's right-hand woman. Don't go anywhere. This is CBS 7's Falcon Focus.
We're back with more Falcon Focus with Jake Dayton and Marshall Kramsky.
Welcome back. The women's basketball program not only brought in 12 new players, they also added a new coach.
That's right. I got to know Coach Sam Brenner in a walk down the court. Okay, we are getting to know Coach Sam. So let's start it off with, how did you wind up here at UT Permian Basin?
Well, I'm from the Northeast, outside of Boston, so it is a far trek for me. But I knew people in Coach Ray's last program, had lots of nice things to say. She actually called me last January, and I was still in the middle of a job, and said, you know, I kind of have to finish the season. So she tried to get me a lot earlier, but she bargained for a March arrival. So yeah, this is kind of how I got here.
And that's where you are now. So talk to me about your experience. You played college ball.
I did. Yeah, I played in New York, Long Island. So it was very different. A lot of traffic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it. Played on a really, really good Division II program, so I kind of have a good sense about what it takes to be successful here.
Absolutely. So talk to me about that, how your transition has been. You know, as a student athlete, you were in these girls' position not that long ago.
Yes.
So what are you able to bring to the table?
Yeah, well, I was a transfer myself, so I have a lot of good connections with the transfers we get. I understand how it can be a hard transition. I handle all the academics. I'm pretty fresh out of getting my master's, so stuff like that, time management, handling family relationships. Being a student athlete is not just about being successful in the court, so that's kind of what I help them with.
That's great. So talk to me about some of the goals that you've set for not just yourself, but for the team this year.
Yeah, I think for us, we have 12 new people, so just becoming a family and being really connected and getting good chemistry on the court is one of my goals. You know, winning and being successful is great, but how do we get there? for me, I work with the post, so I wanted my post to be top of the conference. So that's kind of a goal I set for myself.
So you have 12 new players. What are some things that y'all do to make them connect as a team? You know, they're still getting to know each other. It's still the beginning of the season. What are some of the things that y'all are doing to build up the team?
Yeah, well, I also kind of take it upon myself. I try to find a lot of team bonding activities in the community too. We go to the Boys and Girls Club a lot, try to get the kid out of them a lot of times. We have a new team room, I'm sure you've seen, the coach showed you. So we have a Christmas tree in there, we play games, watch movies, stuff like that, like any other family would do.
How's that, or why is that important?
Becoming a family? Oh, well, you got to trust each other. So if you're not loyal and trust each other, you don't love each other, why would you fight for each other?
I like that. Okay, so Coach Sam, when you're not here, you're on the court, you're building up this team and your girls, what do you like to do?
Watch my Patriots, which not a lot of people like. I know. From Boston, so watch my Boston sports, call my family, love to go hiking and kind of work it out.
That's fun. Okay, so most important question, ask everybody this. Coach Sam, if you had a superpower, what would your superpower be?
I think I would like to either transport myself or be in two places at once. I feel like I'm very busy and sometimes I need to be multiple places at once.
I would love to clone myself. I like that.
All right, Coach. Talk about Coach Sam. How did you even get her to come over to the Permian Basin?
Well, I think we were two people looking for the same thing. I needed a great assistant that shares my passion and philosophy, and she needed a job. And so just networking in the coaching world, she fit everything. And I knew it was going to be a stretch to get her to come from the New England area all the way to West Texas. But when she came down to visit, I think she felt the excitement and the energy and really wanted to help us do something special.
That's great. Talk about her impact she's had on the team so far.
Massive. You know, for me, I feel like she's I hope to keep her because she's special. You know, she does everything, and I wish we were just able to do basketball. And honestly, that's probably 10% of our job, especially hers. She has weekly academic meetings with everybody, even some personally tutors. Obviously works a lot with the post players, but she's working with shooters. She does a lot, community service arrangement, travel, operations. She's really, really great at everything, and she is personally invested in each one of our players, and that's really, we want to be a family.
And you can tell
about that. Absolutely.
It comes off.
Man, she's a young coach. Is it kind of easier for her to connect with the younger players on your team?
Yes, I do think so, but she's very, very mature in her thinking.
Of course.
And I think for both of us, we really have to figure out the best way to deliver a message that they're going to be able to really grasp, understand, and embrace. She's very good at doing that.
And she's just a breath of fresh air, just across campus in general. You know, we were just talking. Everybody knows who Coach Sam is. Every single person. What does that say? Not just about her, but how does that help your program? People are talking about y'all more than ever.
Huge. I mean, she has a great reputation. We want to have that for women's basketball, and we really stress that our players are more than players. They're student athletes, and they're students, and they're community members, and we want to be out there as people that represent women's basketball very well, the athletic department and UTPB and the entire Permian Basin community, and she walks that walk.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. Up next, we get a tour of the new addition from the women's basketball team and what it's making them feel right at home. Don't go anywhere. This is Falcon Focus.
We're back with more Falcon Focus with Jake Dayton and Marshall Kramsky.
Welcome back. The Falcons have a new place to call home inside the Falcon Dome, a brand new team room. Take a look at this. I think this is one of the coolest things. It used to be a racquetball court. Y'all converted it. Talk to me about the story behind this room, Coach.
Well, we needed a space to call our own. Honestly, I mean, our locker room right now doesn't serve that purpose. It's not inviting. Players don't want to stay in there long. It's truly just a locker room and changing room. So we really wanted to make the girls feel like what they have here is special because they are special.
I love that.
Coach, you spent the whole entire summer, you and Sam, putting this room together. Why did you guys want to have your hands in putting this thing together?
Well, actually, it didn't technically get started until a couple weeks before school started. Even though we wanted it to be a summer project, there were a lot of pieces in place that kind of took a little bit longer than we thought. But we wanted to do it ourselves, or partly ourselves, with the help of a lot of people investing in us. We wouldn't have been able to do it without, Ted and Jody Hogan, and every contributor in every way for this room. But we wanted to do the work for two reasons. One, honestly, just to save money.
Of course.
And two, to make our players know we're invested. This room should set us apart from the rest of the conference and maybe the country with what we have as far as women's basketball, to make up for maybe some things we don't have, like a great locker room.
Sure.
And we want our players to hang out, spend a lot of time in there, and they're starting to now. So we want them to live in there, eat in there, and really have meals, learn, academic, do everything in that room together.
I love that. And I think probably the greatest part of this room, and you mentioned this, it was 100% funded through donations. How big is that our community is investing in y'all? They've bought in.
Huge. We love the community, and it's great to see that they're invested in our student athletes and what we're trying to do for the community and UTBB as a whole.
And it's a sweet room. You need to go check it out for sure.
Oh, I've seen it. I saw it last week. Ooh, it's good.
Yeah, like I want to hang out in there. We're going to take a break. We will be right back.
We're back with more Falcon Focus with Jake Dayton and Marshall Kramsky.
Welcome back. All right, Coach, let's take a look moving forward. Before Christmas break, of course, you guys have one more game against Arlington Baptist. What are you guys working on to prepare for that game? What do you hope to get out of that game before you guys go on break?
Well, we want to be able to have some confidence going into the break, so making sure we get that outcome we want, a win. And I think that's very possible.
Right.
Yeah, we need it. I think that's very possible. We just need to have a great week of basketball. And the balance between getting better as a basketball team during finals is a challenging one. So we've already talked about the focus that we need to have going into this week. And basketball itself, we've got to be able to score more. So it's going to be a huge focus. That and just effort plays that hopefully we will learn a lot from watching the film from last week.
So going into this game, well, after this game, y'all are going to have about a week break from everybody. How do the girls, or what do you encourage the girls to do during that time off? How do they stay focused and come back refreshed, ready to get some wins?
I think refreshed is the key. We've spent a lot of time together on the road and really since August. And the break, to me, always seems to come at the perfect time. We do need that break. I think every team does need a break. To where we get away, we're removed, we spend some time with family, we rest, our bodies are tired, I'm sure, and then we come back and we're excited to be back on the court with each other. And I think the break for us is going to serve that purpose.
Get recentered and ready
Absolutely.
to go.
2019 going to be a big year for the Falcons. I can guarantee you that. All right, that's all the time we have tonight. For myself, Tatum, and Coach Booth, have a great night. And of course,
Falcons up.